If you think you know rugby, well, you might want to think again. Today, we're diving into its faster, more explosive sibling, Rugby Sevens. It's a version of the game that is so action-packed, it's become a global sensation. And yeah, a must-see event at the Olympics. So let's get right into it. So what's the big difference here? Well, think of it like this. Traditional 15-a-side rugby, that's a marathon. It's an 80-minute strategic battle. But Rugby Sevens? That is a pure all-out sprint. You've got just 7 players on each side playing 2 7-minute halves. That's it. Just 14 minutes of total action. So, with less than half the players in way less than a quarter of the time, how on earth does that completely flip the game on its head? And that leads us right into our first big idea. Same field, different game. Now here's the really fascinating part. They play in the exact same size field as a 15s game, but with only 7 players. What does that do? It creates something I like to call the paradox of space. Yeah, the single biggest, most important difference is just space. With only 7 players trying to defend a full-size field, huge gaps just open up everywhere. All of a sudden, defense isn't about building a solid wall of bodies, it's all about making desperate one-on-one tackles out in the open. And for the attackers? Oh, it means the game just becomes this thrilling showcase of speed and agility, which leads to way more line breaks and a ton more scoring. But hey, it's not just the number of players that creates this incredible pace. The entire game is literally engineered for speed through a bunch of really clever rule changes, and they're all designed to do one thing: eliminate downtime and create a non-stop sprint. Okay, so let's break this down. Every little rule change you see here is built for speed. We've talked about the players and time, but look at the scrum. In 15s, it's this massive, time-consuming 8-person contest. In 7s, it's just a quick 3-on-3 reset to get that ball moving again. Same thing with conversions, the kick for extra points after a score. Instead of carefully setting the ball on a tee for a place kick, players have to take a much faster drop kick, where they drop the ball and kick it just as it hits the ground. No time to waste. Now here's something that's absolutely key to understanding all rugby, but especially 7s, the ruck. The huge difference from, say, American football is that when a player gets tackled, the game doesn't stop. Players who are on their feet compete for the ball right there, and play just keeps going. And in 7s, with fewer players getting involved in each ruck, that ball is recycled almost instantly, which keeps that relentless heart-pounding pace alive. And you start to see this pattern, right? Every single rule is just shaved down and tweaked for maximum action. The team that just scored immediately kicks off again, keeping the pressure on. Those dropkick conversions, they're on a 30-second clock. And a yellow card, the sin bin, it's only for 2 minutes. But in a 7-minute half, losing one of your 7 players is a massive game-changing disadvantage. It all adds up to a game with pretty much zero downtime. So this kind of relentless pace, well, it demands a very special kind of athlete. So let's shift gears from the rules of the game to the players themselves. What does the science actually tell us about the men and women who play this game at the highest level? So what kind of athlete really thrives in this environment? The easiest way to think about it is to picture the backs from a traditional 15-a-side game. The fast, agile players who do most of the open field running. Now imagine giving them an even bigger engine. 7s players need the explosive power of a sprinter, but they have to combine it with the stamina of a middle-distance runner. And when you look at the actual numbers, wow, they are just staggering. Let's start with raw speed. Get this, 5.11 seconds. That is the average 40-meter sprint time for an elite male 7s player. To give you some perspective, that is smack dab in the territory of elite NFL wide receivers. But here's the thing, these athletes are doing it repeatedly, all while making and taking tackles. Okay, now for power. 66 centimeters, that's about 26 inches. That's their average vertical jump. It's a key indicator of that explosive lower body power you need to burst through tackles and go up to compete for high balls, which is a critical skill in this wide open game. And finally, endurance. Let's talk about the engine. This number, 53.8, is their average VO2 max. It's basically a measure of how efficiently your body uses oxygen. For reference, elite marathon runners are often up in the 70s or 80s. But this score is exceptionally high for a sport based on power and sprinting. It's the engine that lets them perform at peak intensity, sprint after sprint, for an entire tournament weekend. This quote from a major scientific study really just hits the nail on the head. It's not just about being fast, or being powerful, or having great cardio. 7s players have to be all 3 of those things at an elite level all at once. It makes them some of the most versatile and, frankly, impressive athletes anywhere in the world. So, we've got this insane game played by these almost superhuman athletes. But how did it get so big? I mean, how did this format grow from a small town fundraiser into a global phenomenon? Let's take a look at its journey from a local festival to the world's biggest sporting stage. You know, a huge part of the appeal of Sevens is the culture around it. Tournaments, like the world-famous Hong Kong Sevens, are known just as much for their party atmosphere as they are for the action on the field. Fans will show up in these elaborate costumes, creating this vibrant, festival-like environment that's just fun, it's inclusive, and it's really welcoming to people who are new to the sport. And you can really see that incredible story unfold right here on this timeline. I mean, check this out. It started so humbly, way back in 1883 in Melrose, Scotland, basically just to raise a little money for the local club. But it was the Hong Kong Sevens, starting in 1976, that really launched it onto the world stage. From there, it got major credibility at the Commonwealth Games, which all led up to the ultimate prize, becoming an official Olympic sport in 2016. What a ride! So, what does all of this actually mean for the future? Let's try to bring everything we've talked about together and take a look at what might be next for this incredibly dynamic sport. So, let's tie this all together. Why is this little 14-minute game such a big deal? Well, because Sevens acts as a perfect gateway to the entire world of rugby. It's fast, it's easy to follow, and it's just packed with action. Its Olympic status is turbocharging its popularity in countries all over the world. And it's a spectacular showcase for some of the planet's most complete athletes. It's not just a shorter version of the game, it's a powerful engine for global growth. Which, of course, leaves us with one final big question to think about. With its incredible speed, its growing global appeal, and its fan-friendly format, could Rugby Sevens actually become the new face of the entire sport? It's a fascinating thing to consider. Thanks for watching.